This is such a good question. So, were my kids kept in the house all the time or were they allowed out? And that is something that's really interesting and in their development, okay? Because my daughter was kept in the house with me for that first year. And so she like went outside to play, but like we were never allowed outside of like the wall, right? Of like our gated community. Like we were not allowed anywhere. And so the only time we were allowed out with that was when we were literally with him. But there was no like fun that happened. There was no like adventures or like talking to people or meeting people or anything where she would have like built social skills, you know. She was very little at the time. She was 2. And so I didn't think that she remembered that time because she had a very, what I thought was a good childhood after that whole year, right? But now I can see it in her where she literally panics if she cannot go somewhere for the day. Like if she cannot go somewhere for the day, if she's locked in the house, she panics. She absolutely panics. And it's because we were locked in a fucking house. And then when he started letting us out a little bit more, everything was always controlled. So my kids were allowed out with him. He would take them to do things. He would take them to like the parks. He would do things I wasn't allowed with. And then when he sent me to work, he would do things with the kids while I was at work. And then when I was home, like we were home. And so we were just, you know, that's what it was. I think the kids were, my daughter was maybe about 4 or 5 when we started to be able to go out more, like children's museums or things like that. And he would let me go, and that was really fun. And so they have tons of memories of being out and about because they were either with him or when he let me go out with them, with us. But as far as me taking the kids out of the house, oh, never. Oh, honey, never. There would have never been a time where that man let me take my kids out of my house. The only time, I think it was maybe like 2 years, a year before we left, the only time he ever let me take the kids out was if he had his oldest son go with me. And it was very, very, very rare. His oldest son would go with me and monitor me and make sure that I was coming home because he knew I wouldn't run if I had, I mean, I didn't have any of our documents. Where was I going to go? But if I had his oldest son with me, I would not run. And so never, never, never. There was, I think it was about a week before our house got raided. And I paid for this so dearly, you guys. It was like a week before our house got raided. He was gone for some reason. I don't even remember what. And like my one friend that I had said, let's take the kids to Burger King to let them play in the play place. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Carl's not home. And she was like, come on, like it's taking our kids to the play place. What are we going to do? And I was like, yeah, you're right. She's like, I'll pick you guys up. I'm like, okay. And so his son was like 17, and I didn't think he wanted to go to the Burger King play place. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to take the kids to Burger King. Like, we'll be back. I'll bring you something to eat. And literally we left and we were at Burger King and I was out with my kids, and I didn't even think about that was the first time it had ever happened until I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, I'm out with just my kids. I'm out with just my kids. Like I could run right now. Of course I didn't run because I never ran.